Football 301. Nate Tice here with Charles McDonald. We're coming to you right after Sunday Night Football. It's time for the late hit. Yes, Sunday Night Football has just wrapped up. The Packers beat the Steelers 35-25 at the stadium formerly known as Heinz Field. I refuse to acknowledge any other name. Charles, great to see you again. How you doing? What's going on?
Man, I was happy for like the first half, because it felt like we finally had a good close game that was gonna go back and forth for a little bit. The Steelers are running the ball well. It felt like maybe they had found a little avenue for success against the Packers. And then the second half happened. Jordan Love, at some point during halftime, Jordan Love went to the settings and turned it to rookie and absolutely shredded the Packers or the Steelers defense. Like, that was cool to see, because today it's easy to point out, like, there was one game that ended within one possession this entire week so far, even going back to Thursday night to the Vikings Chargers. Every other game was a blowout. And I'm not talking like, 14 points. We're talking like 30, 20 point blowouts all over the place. But still, to see like Jordan Love be able to execute that level and the passing game execute that level, and you got some Tucker Kraft big plays. I think it just showed you the potential of this Packers team, even if they've been a little up and down the season. Like, this is still a really good team, and if they hit their stride and kind of play up to their potential, they can still go on a run and win the Super Bowl. And for the Steelers, like that second half, it kind of felt like more of the same for what the past few years have been.
The magic ran out. When two Packers missed two field goals, McManus missed two field goals, I was like, Mike Tomlin's about to do it again. Here we go, strap it. And then the second half happened, and Jordan Love absolutely shredded the Steelers in the second half, like other teams have done, other passing games have done this year. In the second half, Jordan Love finished 16 of 19, 214 yards, 11.3 yards per attempt, 148.7 passer rating, completed 20 straight passes at one point tonight. And I would say number 20 was particularly exquisite, if I might use that word. It was to Dobbs against a blitz where the guy came down. He just booped it right over. And it was brilliant. It was a brilliant throw that the commentators didn't even comment about. And I was just like, oh my God, that was insane. But no, it was what you're kind of getting at is that the Packers, who were, a team I'm very, very high on going into this year, like it's been frustrating at times. Like the Browns game was probably the peak frustrating. Even the Cardinals game last week felt frustrating, but it's one of these teams upon review, I'm always like, oh, they're so close to popping. They're so close. Like, stuff is looking good. The O-line's getting sorted out. But then you see, like, this is what I kind of was envisioning with this Packers team. The highs that Jordan Love can achieve. Like, that's why they are as good of contenders, I think, as anybody in the NFL. I really do think that because they have a closer, Micah Parsons, on defense. They run good zone coverage. And then they got this guy, Jordan Love, who can spin it with anybody right now, especially when he's feeling it like he did tonight. I thought a couple throws I wanted to highlight. The Christian Watson was back. He had the little 3rd and 7 completion to Christian Watson in the second half against the blitz. And that's where Love is so cool, because against the blitz, he does the gash or B gash, which is how I think you beat the blitz. And Love is like, you don't have to twist my arm. Like, he's like, he had the initial read for him was open, and he's like, I'm going for the deep post, and I'm going to buy time to get to it. And it's just so cool that he's able to get to these high-end throws and has the confidence to try and do it. This offense can be a little frustrating, especially on second down sometimes, but man, they got a good floor, and it's just Love, just especially when these receivers get going, it just lifts up the ceiling to like, oh yeah, that's a contender. And then shout out to Tucker Kraft, the Warlord. Flat route TD on just like a little flat RPO, choice route TD. They're dialing up choice routes to him now. Next Gen Stats tweeted this: 131 yards of yak for Tucker Kraft tonight. It's the most by a tight end since 2018 in a game, and the 3rd most ever by a tight end since Next Gen Stats' database goes back, which is 2016. So, the highs of this Packers offense certainly were high, and you felt it tonight.
Yeah, and I think like the Steelers defense, man, you guys gotta get it quick. Man, I think because I think God that was as low for the Steelers defense because I was because funny you were talking about the first and second, or the second down, how they struggle sometimes, because I was looking at it from the Steelers' perspective just for this game. On first and second down tonight, Jordan Love was 24 for 26, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, 92% completion rate, 40% of his dropbacks went for first down, 65% success rate, 20% explosive pass rate. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, what happened here? Like, I honestly think, like, going back to, that's absurd. Like,
I know. Every number you listed was more absurd than the last. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. What are you doing? And the funny thing is, it's 2.3 seconds to throw. So, like, you're just getting peppered over and over and over and over again. Man, that was just so bad. And I'm surprised that, I'm surprised that their defense is this bad. But man, like, they can't really do anything, it seems like. I think this could probably be the reason why they might miss the playoffs if it gets down to that, if it gets down to it.
I know. I actually feel okay about where their offense is. Like, it's not perfect, but it's kind of what we talked about this even on the preview show. It's kind of what we envisioned. It was like the run game's solid enough. They got some decent linemen, and then they only have one receiver, essentially in DK Metcalf, but like Rodgers can still spin it when he's not pressured. So it's like they can hang in games. It's just that, this defense, it's predictable. There's wide open guys. Whenever they run zone, there's guys wide open. I was curious if they were able to get, they actually held up okay statistically against play action, but my theory of it was like, well, I watch these linebackers and safeties. I'm like, you can get after them. And sure enough, that's what happened tonight. See guys just getting shredded over the middle. I'm with you. It's like, you would think that the Steelers offense would be the one hindering them. And I was like, I actually thought they were okay overall, that just like they've been all season. So I'm right there with you. I think this defense is just blah. Did you have any thoughts on the Packers defense? Anything they showed tonight? Keyshawn Nixon had a rough one, but they have some good players on top of Parsons, of course.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job in the second half, kind of, making life more comfortable for Rodgers, because it seemed like in the first half, maybe the Steelers were just kind of be able to just play the ideal Arthur Smith game for what he wants to do, where they're just going to be able to run the ball. And then things got a little out of hand for them on the other side of the ball, so they had to start throwing to keep up. And it was just kind of blech, I think, by the end of the day for the Steelers offense. And you probably have a little bit of concern maybe if moving forward they find themselves more in negative game scripts. Because his defense is pretty bad. Like, is this offense built to actually come and play from behind? I think they still have some.
I'll answer your question.
Yeah, I don't think they are, Charles. I don't think they do. I think they've still got some work to do there.
I love your rhetorical. I appreciate it.
I know. Well, here, what I want to say is, as much as I like Arthur Smith, and I think he's a really good offensive coordinator, I said last week, if you can go to this many different stops with different types of quarterbacks, different teams, schemes, players, have 3 top 10 offenses is pretty good. But it is kind of a front runner's offense, like things need to be going well for this offense to be at its best. And it's not just him. Like, we've seen that at times with Shanahan too, like in the playoffs when he has struggle, organize or orchestrating a comeback at times. It's at its best when they're ahead. So when they come from behind, still trying to figure that out. Like in the second half, they had negative EPA. The success rate was under 40%. Aaron was sacked twice. Like it really, really wasn't the same. And they weren't really getting much out of these dropbacks at all. So that's something to pin for them moving forward, especially because the defense is definitely awful, like very, very bad.
They have just no margin for error. It's that if they get a penalty on offense, it's like, boop, drive done. Because Rodgers' game right now is not to, he had a couple, but it's like it's a dink and dunk. And when you only have DK Metcalf and you have interesting tight ends, but not like Tucker Kraft, you have Jonathan Smith, who's fine, and Darnell Washington, who has his role, and Freiermuth is whatever. And then like Jalen Warren, I like, great workout montage, by the way. But like that, he's fine. He's fine, but it's not like they're designing these shot plays to him. It's more like just underneath checkdowns and hopefully you break a tackle. And when you go against a defense like the Packers, we talked about this on the preview show, one of the best tackling teams in the NFL, and they play a lot of zone. So you know what zone can do? It can take away your number one and make you work with all your auxiliary receivers. Their auxiliary receivers aren't that great. So it's almost a personnel thing. If they trade for somebody, I'll be a little bit more interested, which they seem to be in every single rumor right now. But yeah, I feel like this is what the offense is. It's about average-ish. That's why I keep coming back to. And like you said, negative game scripts. They're not a game script proof offense or defense really. So yeah, it's just it's a high wire act they're trying to run. But I mean, I just rewatching the Packers Cardinals game, even though it was a tight result and they going to get Jacoby Brissett and all this. Rewatching, I was like, oh man, like I feel a lot better about you guys than maybe I did watching live. And then just one of those. Again, they do a lot of good stuff. They're very sound. Now you get Watson back. You got Golden. Romeo Dobbs is becoming just a good player too, much more reliable. And then you got Tucker Kraft, and then you got a run game that's solid. It's not the sexiest run game, but I don't know. It's all kind of coming together. Savion Williams is getting little gadget plays. Shout out to Bill Barnwell, by the way. We did a show last week, and he mentioned Savion Williams. I was like the first person I've heard talk about him in about 8 months since he got drafted by TCU, So, no, but I just feel real good about this Packers team. I just really do. It's the formula makes sense in my head. And I think they just kind of keep rolling. And I think Love, who was my preseason MVP pick, it's like he's feeling like that now, where it's like he is moving that needle to a great extent. The highlight plays, but just the consistency as well, how he's reading the game out. Man, he's just such a fun player to watch. It's just I really enjoy watching him in this Packers offense and really just Packers team right now. Any closing thoughts? Well,
I was gonna say it's nice. It's fun to watch the offense operate when the other team can't rush the passer.
Yeah,
it's it's crazy. It's crazy watching like the Steelers front seven.
Pretty fun, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know. It just is. It's jarring to watch a Steelers front seven that's this toothless, Yeah. I'm looking at some of the pressure numbers that PFF charted. It looks the highest pressure rate tonight was Derek Harmon, who had 2 pressures on 15 rushes, and TJ Watt had a little over 10%, and then just a lot of 4%, 2%. I mean, they need to like do some soul searching or just a major shakeup on that side of the ball, because they should never be this bad. It's like against their DNA, It ain't right. It just ain't right.
It is. It just says it feels static. Like I don't know how else to describe it. I'm trying to find like words to describe it, because it's just like they've been doing it for years, and it's very predictable and very. But they'll do some invert stuff, but it's not like an overly like I watch it and go, man, how do you? It's not Dick LeBeau, where I'm watching it going like, oh my God, how do you block that blitz? Like, wow, that's funky. Like, there's some defenses and like might not have the best personnel, but at least there's times on third. I watch the Falcons. They're not a great defense, and we're kind of seeing now that what it actually is. We talk about that, spoilers later. But I at least on third down, I'm watching some of their blitzes and creepers, and I'm like, whew. That's some exotic stuff coming at you. Like that's pretty good from Ulbrich. Like I watch the Steelers. I'm like, all right, zone blitz. All right, field pressure. Pretty easy to kind of sort out. And if you don't have the dudes making plays for you, it just looks like this when you go against an offense that can torch you and it has no fear in you. So yeah, great shout out about what their pressures is. And that's the thing with TJ Watt. By the way, none of the Wisconsin guys said they're from Wisconsin in the player intros. Totally get it. Is when he's only lining up on the right offense's right side, it helps the offensive game plan. Like, because I know where you are every single snap. Watch what the Browns do with Myles Garrett. He's a D tackle sometimes. He flips sides sometimes. They always find the fish. And I think with TJ Watt's alignment is kind of like the canary in the coal mine for this. And that, hey, I'm only in this spot because this is what we've always done. I'm not saying TJ does this or anything. It's just I'm watching the Steelers defense. It's like, well, move him around. Change it up a little bit, because now I know wherever I have to give my chip help to. Now I know where I can run away from. It just becomes predictable. And when you go against good game planners like LaFleur and good quarterbacks like Jordan Love, MVP candidates like Jordan Love, that's what it looks like. I think a total ass kicking. So Packers win. Steelers do not. Look at their schedules real quick before we move on.
Lamar Jackson's coming back soon.
He is. I know. Remember talking in the preview show, and it was like their chances, like one of the odds was like 24% still to win the division, even though the Ravens, I mean.
Yeah.
It was like,
they were
can you imagine that they can barely play football for a month and a half. Lamar Jackson's out, and it's still like basically a coin flip now after they won.
Yep. It's crazy.
AFC North. All right, Packers have Panthers, then the Eagles, then the Giants, then the Vikings, Lions, Bears. Oh my, kind of all right, that's very manageable schedule, interesting schedule. Steelers got Colts next week. There's got that Colts offense that's basically averaging 40 points a game going against the Steelers defense. Then they got the Chargers, Bengals, Bears, Bills, Ravens. So that's to come up in November. Interesting game. Congrats to the Packers. Congrats to Jordan Love. Charles and I got together earlier today. We went on YouTube to react to week 8 on an interesting day of Sunday football in the NFL. It was something, but it was a fun conversation as always with Charles. We had 3 highs, 3 lows, a little extra credit at the end. That Colts offense, Jonathan Taylor, very fun show with Chuck. And we did that coming up right after the break.